Imagine waking up in a freezing forest, surrounded by snow, when suddenly thousands of German soldiers burst through the trees. This was what exactly happened at the Battle of the Bulge, when Germany launched its final major offensive of the war. By late 1944, things were looking bleak for Germany. The Allies had liberated France after D-Day and were pushing steadily toward Germany's borders. In the east, the Soviet Union was advancing relentlessly. Hitler knew Germany was running out of time, so he came up with one last desperate plan. Attack through the Ardennes forest in Belgium and Luxembourg, the same route Germany had used successfully back in 1940. German forces would smash through the thinly defended American lines, capture the vital port of Antwerp, split the British and American armies, and force the Western Allies into negotiating peace. If it worked, Germany could focus everything on stopping the Soviet advance. It was a huge gamble. And at first, it worked. Before dawn on December 16th, more than 200,000 German troops, supported by hundreds of tanks and thousands of artillery pieces, attacked through heavy fog and snow. The weather-grounded Allied aircraft, removing one of their greatest advantages. Roads quickly became clogged with retreating troops and damaged vehicles. The German breakthrough created a large bulge in the Allied front line. That unusual shape would give the battle its name. As German armoured columns pushed west, they encountered increasing resistance. Several major roads passed through the small town of Bastogne, making it essential for both sides. The American 101st Airborne Division, along with elements of other units, rushed to defend the town. Within days, they were completely surrounded. The Germans demanded their surrender. The American commander, Brigadier General Anthony McAuliffe, replied with just one word: nuts. The Germans weren't entirely sure what he meant. The Americans knew exactly what it meant. Food and medical supplies were running low. Temperatures dropped well below freezing. Snow covered everything. The wounded waited in freezing buildings while German artillery pounded the town. German Tiger IIs fought through the forests. But the further they advanced, the more stretched their supply chain became. Destroyed bridges and determined American resistance slowed the offensive. Then the weather changed. The skies cleared. Allied aircraft filled the air. Fighter bombers attacked German tanks, trucks, and supply columns. Transport aircraft dropped desperately needed food, ammunition, and medicine. Now the momentum began to shift. General George Patton's Third Army performed one of the most remarkable maneuvers of the war. Instead of continuing east, Patton rapidly turned his entire army north to relieve Bastogne. The siege was over. The fighting, however, continued for several more weeks. By January 1945, the Germans had been forced back almost to where they had started. Hitler's final offensive had failed. But the Allies also suffered enormous losses, with tens of thousands killed, wounded, or captured. It became the largest and bloodiest battle fought by the United States during the Second World War. Just 4 months later, Allied forces crossed into the heart of Germany, and in May 1945, the war in Europe came to an end.